Hey guys, welcome back to another Cajun Toy Review. Continuing with our Halloween Horror Month, we're going to be talking about NECA's Trick or Treat Sam from the film Trick or Treat. And I just recently discovered this film. Well, actually, I knew about this film. I recently watched this film its entirety, and I freaking loved it. And I had to get this figure before Halloween to talk about it. And at the time of this recording, we have 8 days and a couple more figures I definitely want to squeeze in there before I do what I think is the scariest figure of all time. But yeah, if you haven't seen this film, you can watch it on I think HBO and Hulu right now at the time of this recording. It's definitely a fun film, and if you're interested in it, watch it before you watch this review, because there's going to be some big spoilers for the movie in there. But yeah, kind of like the vein of Creepshow and stuff like that. 4 short stories kind of interwoven over the course of Halloween night. And a fun little film. It's definitely one that I'm going to watch every year around this time. And with that, put in the comments, guys, I would like to know what is one of your favorite films that you watch around the spooky season, around Halloween. And of course, the given is always going to be the original Halloween. But what else? What's another film that you guys can watch, a horror film, every year around this time and you don't get tired of and stuff like that? That is fun. So yeah, I'd like to hear that. So without further ado, let's talk about Sam from Trick or Treat. So in front of the box, we got a poster from the film where we see Sam standing there in front. We got a lot of different characters that are in the stories from the course of that night. On the side, we got Sam sitting there observing something. If you've seen the film, you know what that is. On the back, we got a full shot of Sam with his cute little lollipop and a couple product shots of him there. A little bit of a read-up. When the doorbell rings and the cry goes out, trick or treat. But wait, what's actually going on during this ghostly All Hallows Eve? Something eerie and unexpected. Something splattered and spooky. Something that brings ghouls, vampires, werewolves, and the night. Answer the door. A shocking surprise waits. And like I said, a couple different shots. We got Sam with his burlap sack, biting on his lollipop. And then spoiler time. Got a couple of Sam with his mask off. And a little bit of read up. 4 interchangeable heads, 4 interchangeable hands, candy bar, lollipop, sack, and 2 jack-o'-lanterns. Opening up, you got that full shot of Sam right there, looking awesome. And then there is our inside. We got our little Sam in there, and yeah, lots of different things in there. Different heads, 2 jack-o'-lanterns, yeah, different things in there. But looking awesome, man. I'm really, really excited to talk about this guy. So let's go ahead and break it open. All right, we're looking at our Sam from Trick or Treat out of the box, and this is a fun little figure. Definitely awesome if you're a fan of the film. So many cool little accessories and like little things in there for a character that is in the film, but that doesn't have a huge amount of screen time. They completely captured it and blew away the likeness and everything with the accessories and stuff. So yeah, I recommend it already if you're a fan of the movie and you like little horror figures and stuff like that. Hopefully we see a sequel and stuff like that, because it's definitely a movie that could easily do that, just putting stories around Halloween night. So let's look at the accessories, and then we'll look at our Sam. All right, so let's look at the accessories that come with our Sam. And it's a NECA Ultimate figure, so there is quite a bit. It is 4 heads and 4 hands, so that does slim it down a little bit on options of what it is. But for a character that's only in the film for maybe like 30 minutes, they captured every little aspect of it and stuff, and it's just really impressive stuff here. So if you're a fan of the film, of the character and stuff like that, this is a must get. This is really awesome, and man, for someone like me, this just makes me want more horror figures. So let's dive into this and check this stuff out. So first we got this little hand right here. This is Sam's hand that gets deattached in the final fight when he's fighting with the old bus driver. And this hand basically reanimates itself and goes and wakes up Sam, tapping him on his leg. And kind of a comical little scene, almost something out of Addams Family. But you can kind of see his interior, which is like basically looks like the veins of the flesh of the pumpkin or whatever he's made of. But I say pumpkin because it looks like there's a seed in there as well. But just really cool looking. The burlap sack and stuff on that looks really awesome. You can see the detail on the sack, and of course the detail on the hand is really impressive. You can actually see the knuckles and all the little finger digits and stuff like that. Really, really cool stuff right there, guys. And then we have this just kind of open, relaxed hand. And this doesn't grip anything, but you can kind of put it, if you saw how it imposed on the turntable, you can kind of put him with his hand on his sack, on his burlap sack. You can put his hand there, and it makes it look kind of like he's dragging it behind him. And, you know, I mean, you're not going to really, this guy's not going to be going and doing action, so you're probably going to put it on your shelf and pose it. So that's a good way to pose it. And then we got these two hands, which look really similar. They're both gripping hands. One is much tighter grip than the other. One is for the lollipop, and one is for the candy bar. So they're pretty much identical. Besides that, it's just one is molded much tighter than the other. And actually need to be a little bit tighter just to kind of hold it the way I like. And we'll show you when I look at it. But yeah, just two gripping hands with different degrees of grip. And then as for the accessories or the items itself, we do get this candy bar that is opened with a razor blade sticking out, which gets used in one of the scenes that made me cringe. That foot, I don't know, like there's scene in Evil Dead that involves that the bottom of your ankle, your foot, your Achilles tendon, just makes my fingers lock up, just like, oh. But yeah, they always had the rumors or the urban legends especially when I was a kid, that check your Halloween candy because there's going to be razor blades and everything and stuff in there. And yep, this is what this is. This is a candy bar with a shank blade in it and stuff like that. So, you know, for your stabbing. And then we got this little candy right here. And basically Sam has this candy with him, and at one point bites it and uses it as a weapon to cut. And man, this like film has become kind of a little cult following and everything and stuff. And if you've been to Spirit Halloween this year, there's trick-or-treat stuff everywhere. There's a trick-or-treat attraction at the Haunted Hollywood or whatever the thing is. I'm thinking Universal Studios. They got a tour for that with trick-or-treat. So it's got a big cult following. And my kids actually got trick-or-treat lollipops that have the bite on it. And I didn't even know what it was at the time because I hadn't seen the movie yet. And it just makes it even cooler now. But yeah. Then we got his burlap sack. And this looks really cool. It's got some stains on it. We don't really see what's in this thing in the film, so we kind of gotta have to guess. And being that Sam seems to be kind of a Halloween spirit that punishes people who don't obey the rules of Halloween and stuff like that, God knows what's in this bag. So it's up to your imagination. There's heads in there. No, I don't know. But yeah, it's really soft. You can actually kind of squeeze it. That's really cool, but awesome texture on there, and the blood just kind of, or whatever that is, blood, some Tabasco, whatever. Then we got these two jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, and they are really, really awesome. A lot of detail on there with that carving, the teeth, the eyes, the nose, and it's got like all the little pock marks and stuff on the pumpkin with the lines and everything, and then you got bumps. Then of course it has, you can actually see where they had cut it to open it to put the light in it. That's just such a cool detail. And then it's got this really good wash on it that makes it look kind of dirty, kind of like got that grout and whatever stuff that pumpkins get on it, pumpkin acne, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, this is awesome. This is really cool. And you can use this for this. So you can put this with your Michael Myers. This can go right up on the Myers house with the other one. And then we get this one. And this one is one of the cooler scenes in the film, where we basically see all the writing on the wall, the trick-or-treat stuff, and all the jack-o'-lanterns and everything pop out. We see this pumpkin in the corner for a brief second. Now the thing about this one, it actually has a LED in it, a little light. Well, you click it down, and it lights up. Now, we'll do like we did last time, because it's kind of hard to see. And I'll hit these lights for a second. And there you go. You can kind of definitely see that now. And it's just a click. But yeah, the darker it is, the better it looks. But really cool little effect right there. There we go. But yeah, I think that's pretty neat. All right, moving on, we have our heads. So we have a basic Sam head, and super cute. I mean, you know, when you see him just in his little sack and everything, stuff like that, you're like, oh, look at the cute little kid. Oh my God, I want to. But yeah, see the little button eyes, and the stitching on this looks really, really cool. The mouth is stitched closed. It's got the little line work on there, like the mouth is there. There is some blood or something on there, or some more Tabasco. But really cool detail on there with that sack. It's kind of frayed on the ends, but the stitching comes all the way around the back. So that is just really cool. And it's like, this would be the head I have on them for 99% of the time. But they're all actually all pretty awesome. But this is iconic for the character. And it just looks really, really awesome. Then we have this sack head. And this one has where it's been cut. So in the film, the sack, the bag is cut, and it makes it look like he has a smile on his face. It makes him even cuter. And yeah, you can actually see part of his jaw and his mouth under there. So that's just such a cool detail. It looks like you'd almost open the hinge right there, but you can't. But yeah, that's just another version of that head. And look at that. It looks like Sackboy from Little Big Planet when you're at this angle. But and then you got longer strings because it's kind of hanging out. Been through some stuff now, but yeah, I like it a lot. And then we got these two heads. So let's we got the default Sam head. So this is what Sam looks like without his mask. He is kind of like a skeleton pumpkin kid, and looks really nuts. The eyes look really crazy with that kind of X's in it and stuff like that. But just the red, the detail on the red, and the fleshy right there where it's soft. And then we got this kind of orange wash on the top where it gets darker and stuff like that for like shadow. Just looks really, really awesome. But yeah, just the sculpting on the head and sick. Kind of see the, remember like what kind of lines will come up here, so it gives you that kind of skull appearance, stuff like that. Really, really, really cool. And then it has a hinge on here, so we just take the hinge, and there we go. Look at that. It's got like a tongue or a mouth. And you can see teeth and a jaw, all that stuff in there. And it just gives you a complete different expression. Just very subtle. So, so yeah, really, really cool. It's hard to pick which one's the best. And then we got this head where he has been shot. And you can see his insides, his guts, his pumpkin stuff coming out. And of course, there's another seed. So there you go. And, but yeah, same thing, just got that battle damage on there and stuff like that, and also has the hinge, so you can also hinge this one as well. So you'll be like, but yeah, really cool. So that is the accessories for our Sam, guys. That's a lot of stuff right here, and you can just kind of set up some cool things, and this character is really fun to take pictures with and just set up. So let's look at our little man and our little figure and wrap this up. And looking at our little Sam, this figure is really cute, and it scales really well up with a lot of your horror figures if you would want to put up there. So there is our Michael Myers from the 2018 the NECA release, and you can see clearly that he's out of frame, so he's much bigger than Sam, who stands at barely 5 inches. So it is a really nice scale. It makes me want the Chucky one even more now. Damn addictions. But yeah, this figure looks great. We already looked at the accessories and stuff like that, so we've seen how detailed those are. So let's take a look at this figure. We'll just pop the head off so we can just kind of look at the body as a whole, because the head does take up a lot of real estate on this little figure. But we can kind of see his little onesie, little romper or whatever you want to call it that he's wearing, and it's got the little butt flap on the back. Look at that. And but yeah, it's really dirty. It's got the little toes on it and some patchwork on the front where we got 2 patches on there and stuff like that. It looks like just a kid in dirty pajamas, but the orange kind of hides the secret and kind of gives the hint of the truth. And like I just said, he just looks adorable when you have him just kind of sitting there on a log watching people get devoured, or sitting on the side of the street waiting to make his move. It's just an interesting little character, and I hope we do get a sequel where this character is kind of like the background or the kind of tie for all the events that happen on like a Halloween night. So just like, it's not a lot to say. I mean, the detail with the wrinkles, especially with the arms, are kind of like longer than his arms, so you can kind of see kind of bunches up and stuff on there. Just the dirt, the wash that they did on this is really nuts. You can kind of see parts where it's a little bit more stained for some reason. Randomly on the butt there's a big one, but overall it just looks really good. And without the head, it looks kind of odd. Somebody would ask you why you have a kid body around, but with the head on and everything and stuff like that, it instantly becomes charming again. Let's look at the articulation. So with this head on there, it's going to be a limited range on that head. Of course, you're going to have a rotation. Now the sack will kind of look kind of weird, hanging on the bottom, depending on if you would want to do the full 360 for some reason, but you can. It's available. You can get a little bit of a tilt. Up is not going to be much, and down is going to be actually a little more than I thought. So you do get some down with Sam like that. I'll go ahead and pop on his other head, which will give you a wider range. Get that classic pop. There we go. So with this head, we're going to have a wider range of motion because it's less restricted by the sack. So now we got crazy up, down, pretty good, yeah. Oh, really good tilt now. What's up? Of course, full 360. And yeah, so yeah, basically any way you want him to look, you can do it. So yeah, that is really good. But that's not the head I'm going to be using. But again, that's my personal preference. Full arm rotation on both arms. He does have a single jointed elbow, so you can be like, what did you do to my face? And there is actually a hinge on the wrist and full rotation on the hands. There is no ab crunch on this little half guy, and there is no waist rotation. Little Sam can kick about that high, and he's not kicking pumpkins, I promise you. He can split about that much. He's got those NECA knees, he can go back about that much. And there is a hinge on his foot, and he's got little peg holes on the bottom of his feet. Look at them little peg holes, that's a little cute. But yeah, there he is, and he stands really well. So I think this figure is awesome. Like I said, this has become my new addiction for these horror figures, and yeah, this doesn't help. So I hope you guys like this review. If you do, leave a like. Like I said, don't forget to put a comment what's your favorite horror movie in the comments as well. I definitely want to hear that and interact with you guys talking about horror movies. And if you request a figure that you would like to see, a horror figure, let me know. Something that maybe you would like to see me talk about. And yeah, definitely, let's engage. Let's talk some horror figures. Let's talk some horror movies. But you can check out our Instagram. Just look up CajunToyReview. Been posting pictures as I do the reviews and stuff like that, and just random shots and stuff like that. Some stuff that might not make it into the review. Also, you can find us on Facebook. Check the link in the description. And if you want to support the channel, you can go to buymeacoffee.CajunToyReview. And any money like that goes to a new camera with a mic input. So Check back. We'll be doing some a couple more horror reviews before the end of the month. We're trying to get to 200 subscribers before the end of the month. We're close, but I need you guys' help by sharing, liking, stuff like that. So anyway, appreciate all you guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself.